Oh. Mr. Mayor, I apologize for that technical difficulties. We are live and ready now when you're ready.
Okay, we're going to try this again. We had a little technical difficulty here. We're going to start over. Now the harmony's here too. Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order once again. This is a regular meeting of Monday, December 13th, 2021 at 6:15 p.m. We're going to go ahead and do roll call. Kennedy. Here. Swick.
Here.
Peyton.
Here.
Nathan.
Here.
Sweat.
Here.
Rojas.
Here.
Okay, we have everyone in attenda. If you will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Excuse absences. We have none. Agenda approval.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second,
Okay, that was a second from you, Vivian.
yes.
Okay, any additional discussion on the agenda? Okay, we'll go ahead and vote on the motion to approve tonight's agenda. Kennedy? Yay. Swick?
Aye.
Peyton?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
Sweat?
Aye.
Rojas?
Aye.
Okay, agenda is approved unanimously. Item E, consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are approved with a single motion, no discussion, and one vote. A council member may request to remove any item for discussion and a separate vote. Items removed from the consent agenda will be placed under new business. Now, notice that is a new line there. So if a member chooses to remove an item off of here for discussion, it will be placed down under new business in order, and then we can further discuss it. Tonight's consent agenda consists of item 1, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting November 8th. 2 ordinances for introduction, ordinance 22-08 regarding amending SMC 2.52.040 sick leave and holidays, and then ordinance 22-09, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Seldovia, Alaska, amending Seldovia Municipal Code 5.35.040, application for a business license to coincide with the FY 2022 Seldovia fee schedule. So those are the 2 ordinances for introduction that'll be on the next regular meeting if approved. And then resolutions 22-19, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Seldovia authorizing the acceptance of the State of Alaska Department of Health and Social Services, Nutrition, Transportation, and Support Services grant for the Senior Meals Program in the amount of $39,641.77 and retroactively authorizing the city manager to execute the grant agreement. The second resolution is 22-20, a resolution of the Seldovia City Council adopting the City of Seldovia Council priorities for council year 2022 and the Seldovia City Council's top 5 values. So that's our consent agenda tonight. Approval of minutes, 2 ordinances for introduction, and 2 resolutions. If the consent agenda is passed, the resolutions then become automatically passed. The ordinances move to the next meeting. So again, any member wish to remove any item for separate discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would, if you can hear me.
Yep, go ahead, Vivian.
Yes, I would ask that item 3B be removed from the consent agenda, resolution 22-20, for a separate discussion and approval later under new business.
Okay. And Heidi, so that's the first time that we've had that. We don't need to vote on that, right? That just automatically falls to the bottom for discussion and future action.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Vivian. So then we'll go ahead and we'll remove item 3B off of tonight's consent agenda. That will fall down under new business. And that's going to be, that'll be item M4. Is that correct? Okay. That'll be under item M4. Okay. Any additional comments, questions on the consent agenda? Okay, we'll go ahead and look for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda as amended, or is just consent agenda, sorry.
Second
Okay.
that.
All right, we have a motion to, we have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda by Vivian and a second by Kennedy. That includes the approval of minutes, the 2 ordinances for introduction, and only one resolution, item 3A, and that's resolution 22-19. All those in favor, Kennedy,
Aye.
Swick,
Aye.
Peyton,
Aye.
Nathan. Aye. Sweat,
Aye.
Rojas.
Aye.
Okay, tonight's consent agenda is approved. Mayoral proclamations, none. Item G, public presentation, prior notice. Each presenter has up to 10 minutes. And tonight we have scheduled Mike Tupper, Kenai Peninsula Borough Assembly member.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you, Mike.
Well, hi, everyone. Really, I just wanted to stop in and say hi and introduce myself and really just kind of let you know that I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. And the only 2 things that I did want to bring up since I'm here is we were successful in changing the planning commission back to adding so that we have 5 city seats again. So that's good. And that there's been a lot of conversation because of the federal infrastructure bill about shovel-ready projects. So just to keep that in mind. And I'm sure that Rachel probably already heard that because she was at the assembly meeting and the mayor was looking for, projects that we could forward on to the state.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, did anyone have any additional questions or comments for Mike tonight?
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yep, go ahead, Vivian.
I would just like to welcome Mike Tupper onto the board he's on. And maybe he knows, did the redistricting go through that state of Alaska was proposing and now our representative would be Ms. Vance? Or am I incorrect in that?
I can't answer with certainty. I
Okay.
think so, but I'm not positive.
Okay, yeah, I was reading something today and that caught me by surprise. I guess I missed that in translation at some point, but welcome aboard, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional comments or questions for Assemblyman Tupper? All right. Well, that's easy one for you, Mike, tonight. And again, welcome aboard. And more than welcome to sit and listen to as much or as little as you like tonight. So appreciate it. I'm sure we'll be reaching out to you again here in the future. Okay. Item H, public presentations for items not on the agenda. We don't have anything scheduled for tonight. Item I, Committee and
Sure.
Advisory Board.
Mr. Mayor, this is for items not on the agenda, and we do have a hand raised from the
Oh,
public.
sorry about that. Yep, I skipped right over that. Yep. Item H, public presentation for items not on the agenda.
Yes,
Yep, what do we have?
Ms. Laurel Hiltz, but if you could please restate your name for the record.
Sure thing. If you can hear me okay, Mr. Mayor?
Yep, we got you loud and clear.
All right, my name is Laurel Hiltz. So just some updates on the calendar and things that are going on currently. So we just had a great weekend of activities from Santa, visiting town for the Santa shop. the Christmas tree lighting taking place, our first Christmas lights parade, if you happen to be in town as we were driving around honking at you, and the chapel's Christmas program. And later this week, we'll have the Chaniqna, the Early Childhood Development Group, doing their Grinch Christmas play on Friday afternoon. And on Sunday, there'll be carolers out and about. And next Tuesday, the 21st, we'll have our annual food box distribution taking place. We are needing cookies. So if you are a baker or you know a baker, please let me know if you're able to donate some fresh baked cookies. We'd like to put some in each of the boxes, and we do have about 45 boxes. So it's about 550 cookies that we're looking to get in there. So definitely have a need for that. Also, canned food and box food donations are really needed as well to boost and pad up those boxes with more food to go home with folks. But they for sure will get a Christmas dinner worth of ingredients and a turkey. So and then just note that the fireworks will be taking place, and they are raising money for that event and are looking for donations from folks. So, and I know the Linwood's got some holiday events planned as well. So keep your eyes out on social media and around town for the different postings. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Laurel. Appreciate that. Anyone else, Heidi, from the public that wishes to speak?
I'm not seeing any more hands raised, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. That'll take us to item I, committee and advisory board reports. And tonight we have Walt Sonnen with CIRCAC here tonight. Welcome, Walt.
All right, well, thank you. Let me first say, this is kind of outside my thing, but this is the first time that I recall there's a majority female council. This is quite refreshing. Am I correct? In the history of town? Anyway, here we go.
You're outnumbered, George.
I attended the CIRCAC Board of Directors meeting on the 3rd of December. There was surprising interest in that. There were 11 or 18 other people in attendance other than the board and the professional staff. Report from the Coast Guard, the St. Patrick, you might recall, sank in Kodiak, and it's about cleaned up to the tune of $4.3 million so far. We heard from Jason Bruni, who is the commissioner of the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation, and there was some concern. He announced a year ago or so that his department was going to overhaul the spill prevention and response rules and regulations, and the council was quite concerned that there would be quite a weakening of the rules and regulations in regard to spill response. He had finally published these, and it's been up for comment since November until the 31st of January. And the board was initial review. This is a 90-page document. Was somewhat pleased to see that the cuts and whatnot didn't seem to affect spill response in the manner in which we may have anticipated. The council will send in their comments before the period is ended. We heard from Captain Mayer, who is the man in charge of Marathon Shipping. They operate a dozen ships, all about the same design, all have U.S. crews, 300,000 barrels each, and it sounds like they do very well. Lots of safety and crew considerations and whatnot. A very thorough report. my seat terminates in April, and I'm willing to serve for another 3 years. It's a 3-year thing. I serve at the mayor's pleasure. There is a CERCAC board meeting scheduled again. This one is scheduled for the 9th of September, 2022, here in Soldovia. And let's see, we missed it 1 year because of water shortage, and 2 years because of COVID. So we'll have to see what happens this year. Let's see. That's about all I have. I might mention that the SOS board meeting meets tomorrow, and that will be a virtual meeting. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Walt. Anyone got anything for Walt? Yeah, go ahead, George.
Who's picking up the tab for the 4 million to clean up that?
The St. Patrick
Yeah.
spill. You recall that the St. Patrick, those of us that were around for a while, it sank years and years ago. It was a tragedy. It was 1981 or something like that. A large processor ship. It was a World War II ship, and that the engineer advised everyone to jump overboard, and a number of people that jumped overboard didn't have survival suits on. It wasn't too far from Kodiak, I don't think. Anyway, there was a great loss of life. I think there was only 1 or 2 survivors out of a crew of 14-ish, 16. And the next morning, the boat was still afloat, and it was eventually towed back to Kodiak, the Women's Bay, which ironically is the same bay that the Coast Guard is based in, and it sat there at anchor up until just recently, and it sank, and there was a sheen, and so then the sheen had to be addressed, and they had to send divers down, and one of the tanks was on the side that was down, and it was quite a bit of effort to drain the tanks. I don't know how many thousand gallons of fuel were on the boat, but it had been neglected all those years. And so they said about a spill. The spill is basically financed, I think, by this nickel a barrel production, or maybe it's 1.5 cents. I'm not sure. Production fee to the producers in Alaska, and it's a fee that I think when the barrel gets full it stops, and when it gets empty then the fee goes back in. But this spill, I guess, essentially is financed by the oil companies. I'm not jumping up and down sure on that one, but
And there was an ownership problem. Nobody stepped up to claim the boat as well. Is that my recollection correct?
what's the disposition of the hull itself?
Yeah, I thought one of the reasons it took so long to respond was because no one would claim ownership of the boat.
Well, there's no owner. It's one of these boats that somehow the owner and the boat went different ways. I can't address that, but no,
Okay.
There was not a responsible party here.
All right.
So it fell on
Where I was
her.
going with this is I just wondered if there's any recovery of the thing that could be scrapped to get some revenue out of.
I don't know. I don't know if there are plans to float it or not.
Okay. But the oil companies actually paid the bill to clean it up.
Yeah. I
Thank
think
you.
The cleanup is about complete.
Thank you, George. Any other questions or comments for Walt tonight?
I have one.
Yep, go ahead, Harmony.
Thanks, Walt, for representing us and keeping us apprised of the situation. That's all I got. Glad you're doing it.
Yeah, Walt, and just a couple comments. So we've already got you, I'm going to try to get you reappointed here. So we got you on the agenda, the last of part of February, right? Yeah, last part of February, we'll get it on the agenda to get you approved and submitted back to SERCAC if you're willing to serve. So we appreciate that. And then obviously going forward, hopefully we'll get lucky here for our 4th straight year of trying, I think, to get the annual meeting here in Soldovia. So that'd be success if we could do that. So,
Okay, thank you.
all right, appreciate it, Walt. Okay, item J, administrative reports. And it looks like the one in the packet tonight will be the chief of police report, and that's going to be on page 51. And these are just written reports this go around here. So we do have the chief in attendance if there are any questions, specific questions.
Do I have something to say? No. I'm looking up.
Clayton, I had one question for you on the new program. Now that you've got the VPN and everything set up, when do you think that will all be installed and up and running and everything?
Well, that is to be determined. We are still got the computer out with the techs putting in all the new software. So we haven't even received it. As soon as we receive that and get it in, it's all ready to go. We have all the, well, so far that we know, all the things are ready to go.
Okay, and I can't remember, did we have to buy that computer? Was the computer actually donated also?
It was a grant.
The computer was part of the
computer
grant.
was part of a grant we got
Okay.
in. Mhm.
Okay,
And so the software and everything we got from the state.
all pat,
and
yeah.
Then we had to get the access through this, the special access. And so far it looks like we're on track, but we just got to get that done. That's
Okay,
where we're at. Mhm.
so hopefully within the next couple of months, we get that thing up and going before summer.
I
hits.
hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope so.
Give you a little chance to work the bugs out and.
Yeah.
So, okay, perfect. Okay, that's the only questions I had. Any other questions, comments on the chief's report tonight?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, Vivian.
Yeah, I see. Was your trip up to Anchorage, was that covered with part of the grant? And do you expect to have to go up again any more times or?
I don't know if that was covered with the grant. That was to go and get security clearance through the state so that I could get the access, this VPN access.
Oh, I
I
see.
had to actually go up to the Department of Public Safety to get that done.
Okay.
So you had to get a
thank-
special access for just to access the VPN.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that's good, I guess. Yeah, if you've got access to the law enforcement software, I guess they want to know who's got access to that.
It's anybody in the office. So that's why it's on the only one in the office. They have to have special access and clearance through it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Thank you, Clayton. Appreciate that. Item K, public hearings, none. Item L, unfinished business, none. Item M, new business. M1, Jackaloff Bay Dock, next steps. Possible executive session pursuant to AS 44.62.310, A through C, matters, the immediate knowledge of which would clearly have an adverse effect upon the finances of the government unit and attorney-client privilege. Can we go ahead and get some presentation by staff?
Thank you, Mayor. So for tonight, we have, but this may be materials for the executive session. We have AML JIA, our local insurer, as well as our city attorney, Joe Levesque, who's ready to enter into an executive session whenever council's ready.
Okay, sounds good. So it looks like we're setting up here. We'll go into council discussion here and have a an executive session on the dock, and then we'd come out, and then we would have, then we would go right to the public for any additional public comment on Jackaloff Bay. So we'll go ahead and put it to council discussion now. If anyone has any comments, questions, or motions. Yep, go ahead.
I move to enter into an executive session pursuant to AS 44.62.31.0 AC 1 matters, the immediate knowledge of which would clearly have an adverse effect upon the finances of the government unit, and for attorney-client privilege to discuss the next steps for Jackaloff Bay Dock, and invite in the city manager, city attorney, representatives from our insurance provider, AMLJIA, Kevin Smith and Paul Reiner, and Harbor Master Layla Pedersen.
Okay, so we do have a motion to enter into executive session. Do we have to discuss the matters which Councilmember Sweat just laid out? And do we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, we have the motion by Sweat, second by George. All those in favor of entering into executive session, Kennedy? Was that an aye, John?
Yes.
Okay, Swick,
Aye.
Peyton,
Aye.
Nathan,
Aye.
Sweat,
Aye.
Rojas. Okay, so at this time, we will go ahead and enter into executive session. And the same thing, we're going to keep the main link up for the main meeting. It will not have audio or video. And that way, as soon as we come out of executive session, the public will be made aware. So at this time, we'll go ahead and mute everything up, and then we'll go ahead.